You guys mentioned just one player to watch, but according to head coach Jonathan Vance, you could have highlighted any of the Leprechauns. I chatted with him last night after 8 of 9 batters recorded at least one hit. He says that the reason that he can rely on 1 through 9 is guys simply don't care who has that big night. They'll cheer each other on regardless. He also applauded the depth of the bullpen, and for who's starting on the mound tonight, we'll go back to you guys. Thanks, guys. This specific game won't mean much in terms of standings, but it could mean a lot more in the long run. Both teams have respective cold streaks, with Kokomo losing 5 straight and Royal Oak losing 6 of their last 7, with their most recent loss being an 11-3 loss in Rockford. One of those trends will end tonight, however, and the winning team will hopefully get the momentum that they need to finish the season strong.
Here's Cristiana Rosa. What's going on?
Yeah, you guys said it earlier. Ohio is one of the most established programs, but they're still a young team that's learning the ropes, especially in conference play. Head coach Bob Bolden said that there's no bad team in the MAC, and even if they aren't winning those games, they're gaining experience, which is the most important part.
I grabbed Coach coming out of the locker room. She said that they had a great first quarter, but they're really still trying to work on putting a complete game together. The main thing that she's focusing on is taking care of the ball. You know, you got to limit those turnovers, rebound when you can, and defensively, they still have to contain number 22, Caitlin Zaricki.
Riley, you mentioned it earlier. This is a highly anticipated game. However, that anticipation has been going on for years. The first meeting between the Chippewas and the Broncos dates all the way back to 1970. Today's meeting marks the 112th, which, after doing some research, I found out is the most played Division I in-state rivalry in Michigan. Yeah, I was able to check in with Chippewa head coach Barbie on the way out of the locker room, and he said the reason for that lead is defense. They're holding the Broncos to 21% shooting, and they're out-rebounding them. Ultimately, the reason for this Chippewa lead, and a large one, is their defense.
Happy New Year, guys. We have a lot to celebrate. I mean, it's MACtion and it's 2024, but the Bulls could be leaving with a lot more to celebrate. Over the past decade, they've really dominated the league, but with their new head coach, they're approaching unfamiliar territory. Their only win this season comes from a Division II school. Since then, they've lost 9 straight, scoring less than 70 points in each for the first time since 1999. It's a new year, a new team, and it really just takes one win to propel them forward.
You know, it may be Coach Powell's first season as a head coach, but he's not new to Valpo at all. He was on Bryce Drew's coaching staff for 5 seasons, where he collected 124 wins during that time. He has had that winning mentality ever since he played at Illinois, and he plans to bring that here to Valpo and his players.
I had the chance to speak with head coach Halkovich this morning, and he said that some keys for today's game are to do a better job of taking care of the ball and just play the full 40 minutes defensively. I don't know about you guys, but they've played a heck of an 8 minutes defensively. The team has held Central Michigan 0 for 5 shooting for 3, 30% from the floor. He mentioned that the team really feeds off of each other for energy, and hey, that is clear in McGirt. Tonight's matchup is the second of the week for Bowling Green, who took down Eastern Michigan in 3 sets last night. Each set was a battle by both teams, but some scary good plays by the Falcons allowed them to come on top. Bowling Green's Jaden Walls recorded her 7th double-double last night with 35 assists and 10 digs.
With just 1 game left in the regular season, the Rivets and the Growlers stand at 1st and 2nd place in the Great Lakes East Division. Rockford will hit the road tomorrow and head to Kalamazoo for Game 1 of the subdivisional series, but then they'll head back home to Rockford for Games 2 and a potential Game 3. The road does end here for the Leprechauns. However, they still have a lot to celebrate. It's their inaugural season in the Northwoods League, and they achieved their best winning percentage as an organization since 2021. The celebrations will continue into the offseason as well as more renovations hit Memorial Park and more talent joins the roster in the offseason. However, lots of talent is still on their active roster, so let's highlight those players to watch.
I had the opportunity to check in on the Chippewa huddle after this last set, which was in largely part led by Ellie Maidendorp. Ellie was saying that, yes, we can get frustrated. Games like this, we're going to get frustrated, but let's not let that affect our play. Don't get discouraged by that. They had a lot of errors in the last set, and they're minimizing those now. They're on a 5-0 lead, and I think that Ellie's little pep talk is leading them in the right direction.
Yeah, you're right. Joe Turner will take the bump tonight after Andrew Abler's stellar performance last night. I was able to catch up with head coach Jonathan Vance and see what he wants to see out of his team today. Here's what he said.
Yeah, same thing. I want to see Joe T come out and fill it up and really attack the hitters. Defense keep doing their job, and then offense just keep passing the stick.
So consistent pitching is key and a well-rounded offense as well. Those were Coach Vance's keys, but Jacob, what are yours?
Abler is someone who isn't a typical starting pitcher at the college level. He is usually a reliever, and this is the most innings he's pitched ever, period.
Yeah.
You know, Where did that confidence in him come from to have him go almost the whole 9?
Yeah, no, summer ball being like less serious than college and a little bit more like relaxed and fun really helps like confidence and just like the overall fun of on the baseball field.
Yeah, speaking of fun, your entire family, extended family, friends, they came out today. How did that help your confidence on the mound? Today was more of a pitcher's duel, and that starts with Joe Turner. JT did a phenomenal job, and that is what you wanted to see out of him coming into today. How do you think he reflected those goals? Your team showed a ton of depth and versatility tonight. They came out to perform when you guys needed it most. What does this say about the growth and the maturity of the team, especially when they came out to perform in those clutch moments? That's a huge difference from your team compared to last season, and you have said that from the beginning of the season to now. Where do you think this team can go if they keep at it? Central Michigan is so near and dear to your heart, but so is head coach Kristen Haney. She coached alongside you for years. How does it feel to watch her lead a program of her? This was a different win, a different game, but it's also a different team. What do you have to say about your team's growth from last year compared to this?
Now we're having a dance party on the concourse and just living the dream, man. It was awesome to see.
Living the dream. Thought that was my last question, but we have to come back to this. Living the dream.
Living the dream.
If you ever ask head coach Jonathan Vance how you're doing, he will say living the dream, and he's honest about that. He says that this is living the dream, so, enlighten him. How are you guys going to use that rest day to improve?
I think the guys are having a pool party, so I'm a little worried about the sunburns when we get to Fond du Lac. There might be some issues with that. I always want them to just rest, but they're young guys, and it's going to be sunny, so I think they're going to have fun together, which is a good thing, and then hopefully it doesn't bite us in the butt when we get to Fond du Lac.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Coach. Congrats on the win. Good luck with the sunburns.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.